Welcome back to the Horizon Media Group podcast. I'm Rob here with
Bobbi Powell.
And we are very excited to be here. Bobbi is the director of admissions at Tennessee School of Beauty. She's an owner of Beauty and Style Network, does a lot of great things in the community. And we are very excited for you to be here. First, I want to talk about, just kind of introduce yourself, talk about what you do every day.
Yeah. So, as director of admissions, I'm enrolling people in beauty school all day long. So doing tours and helping with financial aid. Favorite thing is definitely going into high schools and talking to the young stylists that are coming into the industry that are just starting their careers in high school. That's my all-time favorite. There's a lot that happens on like the business side of the school, but then also recording randomly in the middle of the day to get some episodes in for Beauty School Bobbi, for being on the network. So I feel like there's 800 million things I'm doing, as well as momming and wifing and all of that stuff. So, but mainly admissions at the school.
Yeah, well, it's funny because that's how we met, actually.
Yeah.
My wife, Kinsey, went to go enroll, and then you asked what I did, and got a business card, and then just randomly.
Yeah.
And this is like one of those like God moving in mysterious ways type deal. Randomly, I never checked my spam folder. I checked my spam folder, and you had emailed me that day. I had not checked my spam folder in like 2 years, probably.
That's so crazy. I don't think I knew that. I don't think I knew that it like went into spam and then like you got it. But yeah, I kept your card on my desk because for some reason, as soon as I met you and Kenzie, it was like, oh my gosh, I love them. Like so fun. Like, so you guys were you guys were getting married that week.
Before we got married or something.
No, you were like getting married that week.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys came in and I'm like, why aren't you planning your wedding? What are you doing here? And you were like, well, we just decided we were going to just go ahead and you were already off work or something, or you just like had a day that you could come in and check it out. And I just like knew that at some point we were going to do something that I was going to need video stuff in production. And so I was like, just held on to your card. It sat under my computer for a year or something. I mean, it was like a long time.
It was a hot minute, yes.
And then I was finally like, no, I'm ready to add video into what I was doing with the podcast, which was just sound or audio, obviously. My husband, who's an audio engineer, is going to really hate me for saying that. So like having that and just adding video, I was like, oh, Rob will be perfect. Like it just was immediate that I knew that like you guys were going to be a part of my life in like a bigger way because Kenzie got pregnant like not long into beauty school. And I remember her coming in, or maybe she called and told me, she was like, so I'm pregnant, so I'm gonna like take a break from beauty school and do that. And I was like, yeah, like trying to do this is tough. But I remember being like, no, it's like my friend just got pregnant, like it was so fun. It always was like a close connection.
Okay. So then we started working together on Beauty School Bobbi stuff. And so we started doing some different type of videos and really got into more short form, as well as also still keeping up the podcasts and all that, which then transitioned just snowballing. And then that was actually HMG's transition into and really introduction into the beauty industry.
Yeah. I think I knew that like what we were doing, like salons needed it. I think I always believed, or like, so I saw the quality of what you guys were putting out, even just for me, and how easy it was. And so I think like knowing behind the scenes of like, okay, when we shoot, it's really fun and you guys make it so easy to feel comfortable and all of that stuff. I was like, salons need this. Like, why aren't they having somebody come in to highlight what they're doing and to show the salons and all of that stuff? So I love the industry so much. And I think you just caught that bug so quick.
Yes. Well, it's funny because when Kins was in school, and that was like my first introduction to the beauty industry. So it was interesting. Like I always probably deep down knew, now that I look back, hindsight's 2020, and I'm looking back and I'm like, yeah, I knew I would do something around the industry, right?
Yeah.
But we went to one of these conventions in Nashville, and my goal going there was, it was one of these big beauty conventions and it had a bunch of vendors and stuff. I was like, I'm going to get a free haircut. I don't care how, I want to get a free haircut. So I got like a blazer and stuff, and I was like dressed up. And I ended up being a model on the stage for like Johnny Be Good or something like that. Or it's like a men's hair thing. And they like gave me a sick fade. And so I got my free haircut, but I love the energy and everything around it. So I was like, this is definitely way more than like beauty school dropout grease type industry.
Definitely.
This is like a legit industry that is really cool. Little did I know at the time that, I would be the one working in the industry, every day in and day out, which is really, really cool. And I really enjoy it. But it's funny how it kind of comes full circle. And then like you said, with your connections and with working with you, we were able to kind of translate into the beauty industry. So that's been really, really, really fun.
It's been so natural. Like nothing has ever seemed like so many things happen like over text message or will happen like over email. Like it's not even that we've all like spent all of this time together. It's just like, okay, we have this idea and it's like, okay, this is the next move. It's like, we're just taking these steps to being like following the next right thing,
Yes.
And it's always been like that, I think, since like literally the day you guys came into the school.
Well, I think the fun thing is like it's a good team. And I think that's what's important about, when people talk about building a team, I think a lot of times people are looking for a lot of tangible things. Like, do you have this degree? Do you have this certification? And do you have this, technical skill or whatever? But I think a lot can come and be said for being a really good cohesive unit with the same mindset and like same, sensibilities, and really just being able to move and pivot. Because in business, I have found it's a game of pivots. Like, you have the general direction that you want to move forward in, but it's going to take a little move off the path here, move off the path there. And it takes a crew that can be cohesive during those pivots is like the key to success, I believe.
Yeah. And I think like having the same goals, like I think both of us have always had like our like regular jobs, if you want to call it that or whatever. Like we've been able to do this other thing as like, let's see if this works. Like, let's try this. Let's go here and there, because it's not like we're just like solely relying for this to be like the next big thing. And I think our goal has never been like, let's make the most amount of money as quick as we can. And it doesn't matter if the production isn't there or whatever. Like quality is really important to us. Like that's something that we're not going to sacrifice that. It has to look good if we're going to put our name on it. And I think I saw that with you guys so quickly. Like what you were putting out, it was like, whoa, like this is amazing. I trust that you know what you're doing. I'm never like, oh, we should get this shot or whatever. Like I know that you're going to make it look good and that Dalton's going to make it look good. It's never like but you guys trust my opinion on the things that I know. Like, and I think it's a really good team and it's really easy. But again, like having those common goals and making sure that it's not like, like I said, none of us are just like money, or none of us are like, oh, we have to be the most famous and like our name and this and that. Like, it's just like an easy, like, let's just see where it happens with this. Like, let's just see where it goes.
And I think that's why this transition into launching of the Beauty and Style Network has been so natural and will be successful, is because, we're all, feeling it out and we're putting out good content and we're confident we have the experience. And so that's what's been fun about it is looking. And I think we're all having fun with it. And in these kinds of situations, I think that's the main thing is you're not, doing it to have fun, but the actual growth is what's fun.
Yeah.
And like
I'm totally doing this for fun. And I really love like when we all get to go hang out. But what's crazy about that too is like when we go into places, there's just like a different energy. I mean, I just have always been like, I go in and I'm like, hey, and I have my whatever. But you guys go along so well with that like when we went into Dana Mason Jones, like when we went into Muse in Atlanta, like they were all excited that we were there and we're just like, hey, it's just us, but like they love that energy too. And they pick up on that. So I think the fact that we're not taking ourselves too seriously is so important. I think if we were coming in like, hey, we're this really serious production crew and here we are, it just wouldn't be as fun. And it's so much less natural that I think like us just being dumb and like cracking jokes and whatever. I mean, I love that because it's never felt like we were doing a job.
No.
It's never felt like work.
No.
Like we're like just having fun doing this thing and then it ends up being something so amazing and this awesome product comes from it. So I'm just really excited for that. And I think it kind of makes people want to work with you,
Well, it's cool too, because I think like when people picture like they're coming in to film something, like for some reason, and I'm just now realizing this now, but there's this like stigma of, when it's quiet on set or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like people are picturing that and they're like, I don't know if I want that in my salon.
Yeah.
And then so with beauty and style shoots, we always come in, we try to break that down. And it's be you. That's why your salon's successful. That's why we're here highlighting your salon. That's why we're highlighting your personality, is because, just be you, don't worry about us. We're here for along the ride. The cameras aren't even here, so that's been fun. But I do want to talk about what is the importance of having beauty a platform like Beauty and Style in the beauty industry now that you've been in it for so long? What is your vision for that?
I've always thought that it's really weird that it hasn't been there. Like I've been looking for it and it just isn't there. I mean, I think brands have their brands are so specific and they want to just stay in their area and they don't want to like go out and commingle and all of that stuff. And I haven't understood why there's just not a more broad or just something kind of over that encompasses all of it. Because like I've said before, I just think that like the more that we can work together and the more that we can share ideas and talks and all of that stuff, I think like there needs to be a space for that. So I think it's important just to get information out. Like if you're not in the beauty industry, you really don't have an idea of what it's like. And it's so much a part of everyone's lives. Like everyone goes to get their hair done, but they have like no idea outside of being in that chair what that stylist has done for training or what they have to do for continued education or what products. Like people are just taking advice off of YouTube and stuff. Yes. Well, there's huge brands that are like, why choose this brand or that brand? And I think it's just important to get that information out there because it is so much a part of everybody's life. And I know we always say like there's ESPN for sports and there's Food Network. Like, why isn't this a thing yet? I think we need to have it to elevate up to, you know, there's really insanely smart, talented people in this industry that are, you know, movie stars and movies. And it's all around us. It's like, we're just not acknowledging it. We're just going to like ignore it and pretend like it's not there but there's just so much behind the scenes. And I think we just need to open that up. Yes.
And I agree 100%. And I think one of the challenges that has been the most fun to attack is the beauty industry is very interesting. And it's weird because I didn't realize it till you said it one day was, you know, I'm used to saying as an outsider to the beauty industry, but now we work in the beauty industry every day, which is weird for me to think about. But all that to say, it is like it's very layered and it's different than say food or, you know, sports or something like that, because you have like this segment that is hyper aware of everything going on in the industry, the cutting edge, you know, continued education. And then you also have like this very casual audience as well that's interested in makeup, interested in style, interested in, you know, how to style your hair. Maybe you aren't cutting your own hair, but you know, once you go get it cut by a professional, then you're taking care of it at home. And I think it's kind of that's the tough part, is catering to both of those, or, you know, really a lot more of those segmented audiences.
Yeah.
And so at Beauty and Style, I think that's something, one of the focuses that we're trying to take is having something for everybody who's interested in all these different facets of beauty and style.
Yeah. And you don't necessarily have to be in the industry to learn and to be able to like have access to that, because there's so many things that I wasn't in the industry either. So I think like that's also a benefit for us because we understand what we didn't know before.
Yes.
And we can highlight and showcase what we didn't know and what we were like, oh, I wish I would have known that, or I want to tell everyone about this. But, you know, seeing the industry grow over the last little bit is, you know, you have these people that are influencers or, you know, that are teaching people how to do makeup and stuff on YouTube. Well, they don't have the education. Go somewhere that to the reliable source. Go somewhere that is actually legitimate instead of, you know, just producing these people that aren't doing it safely or, you know, in the most hygienic way. So I think it's important for that too, because there does need to be a standard of safety as well. And so like seeing those two things change over the, you know, last 10 years that I've been in the industry has been different. You know, I came in, you know, before Kylie Jenner like exploded lip kits and stuff. Well, now we all know how to overline our lips to make our lips bigger and all that stuff. Well, that came from that, you know, but now there's more reputable sources and we need to make sure we're getting our information from the best. Like you're not going to, you know, get medical advice from somebody that just like from your uncle that is a mechanic, you know, like you've got to just make sure that you're going and we're supporting the people that are educated. I think that that's really important too, is not only for being in the beauty school and knowing what that standard needs to be, but I think like making sure that the people that are becoming famous for this are the ones that are educated. Yeah. And I 100% agree. And that's kind of like, I was talking with one of our awesome creators, Blake Mays, this past week about, you know, taking these, you know, more detailed and you know, complex ideas from her training and experiences from behind the chair. She is currently a stylist, just finished schools a couple of years ago. You know, she's a translator
bringing those same concepts to the masses and bringing them in a way that is just as engaging as a Kylie Jenner or any of these beauty gurus.
Yeah, exactly.
But doing it in a safe way, doing it in the right way.
Yeah.
With all the technical training that comes from being, certified through their school.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I think that's incredibly important. And that's something that we look for in anybody that's on the network, any of our personalities is vetting them, making sure, and we know that everyone that's on the net that's been featured on the network they know what they're talking about.
Right. Yeah. It's not just like letting, and that kind of goes back to like, we want everyone to have access to it, but who's giving the information, I think is what we're really concerned about, and making sure that everyone, we do our research. And I know that on all the shows on the network, everyone, it's really important to them. Nobody's taking this lightly when we are saying like, okay, this is the way it is, or this is how you do something. I know on Freedom Salon podcast, when they're talking about, salon ownership and stuff, well, I have these conversations privately with them. So I know it's not just for the show or it's not, these are things that we're all talking about in the industry. When I'm talking to them about what they need, their stylists, what challenges are they facing in the salon so that we can fix it a little sooner in the schools. Those are real conversations, that we're having that we like get to share. But I think there's just a level of there's just a level of education that we need to have, and I know the network takes it really seriously. So I love that we're able to put that out there.
Yes. Yeah. And it's been a lot of fun, and we have some crazy cool stuff coming down the pipeline.
Yes.
So if you have not already, make sure you are subscribed to Horizon Media Group on all social media platforms. Make sure you also subscribe to Beauty and Style Network on Instagram, Facebook, the whole thing. We're going to be blowing it up, and we hope to see you guys soon. Thank you, Bobbi, for stopping in.
Thank you so much for having me.